great power comes great responsibility.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. I wasn't going to do film reviews on this channel. I've just seen it though, and I've got an urge to share my thoughts about Marvel and about this particular Spider-Man film.
You know who I am.
I do.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Disclaimer at the beginning, I thought it was awesome. But I think it's more than just, oh, that was great. Because I do think Marvel are being quite interesting at the minute. So I think when they first started, they were kind of introducing the characters to the world at large with their kind of idea of the MCU. And then after, I don't know, about 7 or 8 films, there was this sense from some people that they could be developing Marvel fatigue, because some of the films were quite sort of simplistic plots, and there was this sense that, you know, these big events were happening all the time and people were kind of getting tired of the predictability of it. But then I think they did start trying to be more ambitious with the plots, and they started taking risks. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy films were risks. I think the Ant-Man film was a risk because it was much smaller and it could have tanked. Shang-Chi was a risk. The Eternals was a risk. Some of the things they've done on Disney Plus have been really interesting. Like WandaVision was really different. I don't really like Loki, but I think I'm impressed with the ambition of it. I like what they're trying to do. It's just to watch it is a little bit slow and dry, but I do think the idea, the concept is brilliant. So I do think they are trying to take risks, and it's paying off by and large. And with this Spider-Man film, that was another example, I think, where they took risks, where they've setting up a narrative that could have been quite messy. I don't think it is. I think it works really well, but it could have been a disaster. So I wanted to talk about that for a second, but I also want to talk about the film. So apologies for any spoilers. So now I'm just saying that there might be some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, go and watch it because it's awesome. But I'll tell you about why I think it's really good now. So I do think having the 3 Spider-Men appear together was a brilliant idea, genius. And obviously the multiverse stuff allowed that to happen. The 2 first Sam Raimi films are really popular, quite rightly. I think the second one's amazing. And it was so good to see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man again. So I think that was really special. But the Andy Garfield as Andy Garfield as Spider-Man was really cool. So I think people really like seeing him again, even though I do think they're weaker films. I think him as Peter Parker and Spider-Man definitely added something. So it was really nice to see the 3 of them together, and the banter between them was good, and they're very different characterizations, which I think is really good. So that was in the script, and it worked really well, and they kind of acted differently as well. So that was really cool. I think the plot in general was really good, and again, lots of different villains had a lot of screen time, and it could have been very sloppy. It could have been too much weighted into some areas. I do think it was right that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin was the main villain, because I think he's just awesome. So seeing him dominate again and again in the comics, he's the main villain for Spider-Man anyway. But it was so great to have Alfred Molina as Doc Ock again. And the kind of nuances of the characters were in the film, which is really cool. So it wasn't that sort of black and white, really obvious sort of villain thing happening, which is really cool. And yeah, the plot was by that nature a little bit more unpredictable, which was good. You couldn't really predict exactly what they were going to do with it, because it was so authentic. It was done really well, and the dialogue was really good. Some of it was funny, some of it was just like really nice little nods to the other films, like when they were shocked by the way Tobey Maguire created the webs, or different things about like his back hurting, and that sort of stuff was great. So yeah, loads and loads of really good stuff in there, and like nods back to the previous films, like with MJ's fall and things like that. Really, really cool. And you know, the dialogue between Doctor Strange and the characters was really good as well. Just the acting was really good as well. Tom Holland's a really strong actor, I think, and he had some quite intense stuff to do. He did it really well. So yeah, I think it was actually quite a risky film, even though obviously it's a huge film and everyone's excited about it. but it could have done really badly. It could have been, you know, something that was just too ambitious. But I think they did it really well, and I think it's a good example of how Marvel are really trying to make these films more than just formulaic action films, and clearly what they're doing with their series is on Disney Plus as well. So yeah, I just thought I was so pleased with it and so impressed with it. I wanted to do a little video, even though I don't really plan to do lots of film reviews. But anyway, tell me what your thoughts are. But I was really impressed. I thought it was awesome.